Hello students, how are you all? I hope you all are doing well. I am Suman Nehra and we are going to discuss chapter 8 motion of physics of class 9th. So in chapter 8 I think you already have discussed till rate of change in velocity. You have done few of the numericals regarding acceleration also. In today's topic we are going to study about graphical representation of motion. We are going to study about graphical representation of motion. So while we are saying that what is graphical representation of motion, you already understood that what is motion. If an object is changing its position with reference to some particular point or a reference point, we are going to say that the object is in motion. As you already have studied, if the object is in motion, it is changing its position, and with that you also have studied about the accelerated motion in which the object is changing its velocity with respect to time. You have studied all these things. Now how we can represent all such data in the form of a graph? We are going to study about that thing here. So while we are talking about this one, we can say when we are talking about graphical representation of motion, we here basically study two types of graphs. We study about distance time graph and we study about velocity time graph. While we are talking about the distance time graph, in that case on the y-axis we are taking distance and on x-axis we are taking time. As we are taking distance, in that we need to mention that what is the unit we are taking for that particular length. Like if we are taking meter, please mention meter. If you are taking kilometer, please mention kilometer. While we are taking time here, you can mention second, hour, minutes, whatever time you are taking in. Okay? Then in this graph, what we are going to show that how the position of the object is changing with respect to time. In that case, there could be several methods for representing the distance time graph. I am taking you one of the simple method. Like if I am taking about the uniform motion, if I am talking about the uniform motion, in that case what we are saying that the equal distance is covered in equal intervals of time. When two of the quantities are directly proportional to each other, means if one increases, other increases, if one decreases, other decreases. In that case, when we are saying if the distance covered by an object is equal in equal intervals of time, then such type of motion we are calling the uniform motion. So such type of graph will represent you a uniform motion, a simple graph which can completely give you information about the type of motion which is happening here. In this one, if we are I'm going to provide you some of the points over the axis. Suppose this is 1, 2, 3 or 4, and over here we can say suppose I have 1, 2, 3 and 4. So what we can say, we are saying that the object is covering 1 meter in its first second, it is covering 2 meter in its second, it is covering 3 meter in its third second or 4th meter in its 4th second. So what we are saying, when we are putting the intervals in this one, like it is 0 over the axis, here the interval from 0 to 1 is of 1 second. In 1 second the object is moving 1 meter. Then from 1 to 2 the interval is of 1 second. From 1 to 2 also the object is moving only 1 meter. From 2 to 3 this is moving, again the interval is 1 second, and in that case what is happening? In that case the object is again moving 1 meter. So what we are observing from the following graph, we are observing that in equal intervals of time the object is covering equal distance. That means such type of motion is uniform motion. So by using a simple graph you can represent the type of motion. This is how we represent the motion graphically. But there are certain other possibilities also for the distance time graph. The other possibilities could be like when we are saying about the distance time graphs, other possibilities. This is one of the possibility when we are saying that there is uniform motion. there is second possibility when we are saying that if there is non-uniform motion. If there is non-uniform motion, beta, in that case what will happen? That we can say two definitions in that case. Some you will say like, ma'am, we can say that it is covering unequal distance in equal intervals of time. That is absolutely correct. Or you can also say that it is covering equal distance in unequal intervals of time. That is also correct. Okay. So in that case, when we are going to draw the graph, how we are going to see the graph? Here you are taking distance on the y-axis and time on the x-axis. Okay. So when we are talking about this one, what is happening in this? Here what we are saying, two things are possible. Equal distance in unequal intervals of times or unequal distance in equal intervals of time. Both of the things will say that you are in a non-uniform motion. So for such type of motion, the graph could be like this, or in any of the manner. You can make a staircase type, you can make a curve. That could be a non-uniform motion in which we are not getting a slant, a perfect slope. If we are not getting a perfect slope, that means the motion is not uniform. That means the motion is not uniform. And if we are getting a perfect slope, that means the motion here is a uniform motion, and here it is a non-uniform motion. Clear? There is also one more type of distance time graph, that is if the object is at rest. If the object is at rest. Now think about the case when we are saying that the object is at rest. Suppose at your home, while your car is there, and as you have parked that car around 9 p.m. in night and till 6 a.m. in morning, the position of the car is same. The car is not changing its position, but time is changing. We can say the time is not stopping anywhere, but the position of car is not changing. What we can say, suppose we are saying that with reference to some particular point, we can say with reference to some particular point, the car is marked at some particular distance. We can say at x distance. It is parked at some particular distance. While the car is parked at particular distance, we have parked it, but the car is not moving, or the position of car is not changing with respect to time. That means the time is increasing, but the position of the car is same. What we are saying, the car was earlier also at x, after 1 second also, 2 second also, 3 second also, 4, 5. As we are increasing time with any of the time interval, we can say the position of car is not changing. So in such type of graph, what we are getting, a line which is parallel to time axis. If you are getting a DT graph in which the graph is parallel to time axis, that means your object is at rest. That means your object is at rest. Clear hai? ठीक है? Then there are three types of distance time graph we have discussed. Now one of the most important thing for the distance time graph, while we solve the numericals for the graphical method, just see, you can note it down, you can pause the video and note it down, and then I'm gonna continue with this graph only, because here only we are getting a slope, and then we are gonna solve that how we can get velocity or speed using a distance time graph. Okay, so I'm erasing the other portion. Okay, so here what we are getting, we have a distance time graph, we have a perfect slope, and here the slope of dt graph, the slope of dt graph always provides us velocity. What it provides us? It always provides us velocity. Or what we are saying in this chapter, we are studying about rectilinear motion. Rectilinear motion means motion along a straight line. When the object is moving along a straight line, that means in that case the direction is only one, That means if the object is moving in a straight line, the distance is equal to displacement, and when distance is equal to displacement, the speed will be equal to velocity. So here you can take any of the quantity, you can take speed or you can take velocity, as the object is moving in a rectilinear motion. In this chapter we are discussing about rectilinear motion only. Okay, so while we are talking about the slope of dt graph will always give you velocity. And when we are talking about the general formula of slope, that is delta y upon delta x. I think you are aware about the delta word. Delta means difference. If I'm taking this slope, I'm redrawing it, as I already have mentioned a lot of things in this one, so it will not be clear to you. I'm redrawing it once more. So in this graph, what we are saying, we have distance, we have time. Here is the linear graph. Okay, what we are calling it, linear graph. Which type of graph it is? Linear graph. There is distance, we are measuring it in meters. Here is time, we are measuring it in seconds. Clear? And what we are saying, this thing is called slope. This thing is called slope. As we can see, this is slope, and slope of distance time graph always represents velocity. If we can find out the value of this slope, we can easily calculate that at what velocity the object is moving or at what speed the object is moving. So in this case, when we are talking here, in this case what we are saying, suppose I am taking a portion of this slope, I am taking A and B. Clear? So while I am talking about A and B portion, according to time axis, what I can say, I have divided it into some numbers, some multiple numbers. I have divided it, I have provided some intervals in this one. So here we have some intervals. Here also we have some of the intervals. Clear? Now what they are saying, calculate the value of slope AB, or if you are going to calculate the value of slope AB, you can completely calculate the value of complete slope. Okay? The value of AB slope will be equal to the value of complete slope. In this one, A is representing you the first coordinate. First coordinate means A is representing you, giving you the coordinates, that is x1 and y1. B is giving you x2 and y2. Please always keep in mind, while you are taking a slope, the thing which is earlier in time will be considered as one thing, as we are saying x1 and y1, and the thing which is later in time, that will be considered as x2 and y2, no matter if it's in an increasing thing or it's in a decreasing slope. Clear? So what is delta y? Delta y is y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1 upon x2 minus x1. What we know about this slope now, like this is y-axis, this is x-axis, and here what we know, that A is giving us x1 y1 and B is giving us x2 y2. They are providing us this data, but what we know, x-axis is represented by time and y-axis is represented by distance. So if I'm gonna write, I can write it as time is t1, I can write x as t1 and y as d1. Here I can write t2 and y as d2. And now while I'm taking some values over here, I'm just taking the random values. You may get any of the value from your paper. I'm taking some random values over here. Okay, I'm getting these values. So while I'm taking values on x-axis, what I'm getting, x1 is 1, or we can say t1 is 1, and d1 is, what is d1? d1 is also 1. For t2 it is 3 and for d2 it is 3. Clear? Now we can put the values over there. What we are writing, d2 minus d1 upon t2 minus t1. While we are putting the values, they will be like 3 minus 1 upon 3 minus 1, that equal to 1 meter per second. So with the help of this, with the help of a simple graph, we can calculate velocity. we can calculate velocity. That means while you are representing motion in a graphical method, that graphical method can provide you certain informations regarding the motion. As from the axis, it is already providing you distance information, it is already providing you time information, and the slope of a dt graph provides you velocity information. Clear? Okay, I hope you are clear about the things. Note it down, and then we will start with the velocity time graph. Okay, I hope you already have written the distance time information. Now we will discuss velocity time graph. When we are talking about velocity time graph, basically we get three types of graph in this one. How many types of graph? We are getting three types of graph in this one. First is the graph in which we have zero acceleration. Second graph in which we have positive acceleration, and third in which we have negative acceleration. So it's a VT graph obviously. So while it is a VT graph, that means on y-axis we are taking velocity, you can take speed as it's a rectilinear motion. We need to mention its unit, we need to write down time, its unit seconds. When we are talking about zero acceleration, just think about the concept. When we are talking about zero acceleration means there is no change in velocity. From your last class, you understood that acceleration equal to v minus u upon t. Then what could be the condition that acceleration could be zero? Time can never be zero. There will be some time interval. That means the simple condition here is possible, that is when v is equal to u. जब आपकी initial velocity, final velocity same है. In that case only what we are saying that your acceleration is zero. The acceleration you will get over here will be zero. So what we are saying that the object is moving with constant velocity from the time we have started observing it. We are not saying that we have started observing the object while the object was in rest and then it started moving. There is complete possibility that we have started observing the object while the object is still in motion. And while we started observing, the object was in motion, and with the pass of time, the velocity of the object didn't change. The velocity of object didn't change. Suppose if I am saying the object was moving with 10 meter per second, and with the increase in time, there was no change in velocity of the object. In the first second also, its velocity was 10. In second also, its velocity was 10. In third second also, its velocity was 10. That means there is no change in velocity of object, and if there is no change in velocity of object, that means the type of motion is zero accelerated motion, or we can say if the velocity of the object is not changing, we also call it uniform motion. What we call it? Uniform motion. Clear beta? I hope it's understood. Clear? Now the second type of acceleration is positive acceleration. When we're talking about positive acceleration, that means with respect to time, the velocity of object is increasing. The velocity of object is increasing. I am putting the random values so that you can understand. On y-axis we have velocity, that in meter per second. On x-axis we have time, that is in second. When we are talking about positive acceleration, that means the object velocity is increasing with respect to time. The velocity of object is increasing with respect to time. Okay, so this is your positive acceleration. But when we are talking about positive acceleration, there are complete two possibilities for the positive acceleration. Like we can say there could be uniform acceleration or there could be non-uniform acceleration, uniform positive acceleration or non-uniform positive acceleration. So this, when you are getting a perfect slant, a perfect slope you are getting, this type of slope is for uniform positive acceleration. This slope is for uniform positive acceleration. As we have studied in the DT graph, the velocity we were getting from the slope. Here in the VT graph, from the slope we will get acceleration. What we will get? Acceleration. We will get acceleration. The slope of VT graph provides us acceleration. So what will be acceleration? Acceleration will be equal to delta y upon delta x. Delta y upon delta x. What we know by delta? Delta means difference, and on y-axis what we are having? We have velocity. That means in that case we can write down v2 minus v1 upon t2 minus t1. Whatever value of slope they have asked you, you can put the values, you can take a particular slope. Like if I am taking that, here is the slope which I am taking. This is the slope which I am taking. So in this slope, suppose I am saying it is PU and it is P and it is Q. So when we are talking about the slope PQ, find out the value of slope PQ. What we have to do? On the value of P, we are getting V1 and T1. Over Q, we are getting V2 and T2. We are getting these values. As we are getting these values, we can put the values over this formula and you can get the acceleration. I hope this thing is clear to you. Okay. Our third type of velocity time, I'm erasing this thing, you can pause the video, you can note it down, and then I'm starting the third type of acceleration. Okay? Yes. So when we are talking about negative acceleration, what was happening in positive acceleration? The final velocity was greater than initial velocity. The final velocity was greater than initial velocity, or we can say V2 was greater than V1, which we are taking from the graph. That was happening in positive acceleration. Now what is happening in negative acceleration? That means, or we can call it retardation. We also call it retardation. Okay? In this one, we have that final velocity is less than initial velocity, or we can say V2 is less than V1 from the graph. From the graph, we can say here is time in second, here is velocity in meter per second, and if the object was already in motion and if we suddenly applies the brake over any of the vehicle we are driving, then while we are applying the brakes, that means we are reducing the velocity of the object. What we are doing? We are reducing the velocity of the object. As we are reducing the velocity of the object, in that case, that means what type of acceleration it is happening? It is happening negative acceleration, because the final velocity will be 0 if the object stops, or it will be less than the initial velocity, which was when we applied just the brake. In this one, if the object was moving with 10 meter per second, suppose, and as you applied the brake, after certain duration of time, the object came to rest. So such type of acceleration is basically called as negative acceleration. Here the slope is representing what? Retardation, or we can call it negative acceleration. Clear? Okay. So in positive acceleration, we were having this type of graph. This is V, this is T, seconds, and this is meter per second. Clear? Now one more important thing over here is from the VT graphs, what informations we are getting? We are getting final velocity, we are getting initial velocity, we are getting time, we are getting acceleration. What is left? The distance covered by an object during the acceleration or retardation. We can calculate the distance covered by any object during the acceleration or retardation by calculating the area under the slope. What? By calculating the area under the slope. What we can write? That distance will be equal to area under the slope, or we can say, if we are talking about the area under the slope, the area over here is representing the area of triangle. We can easily calculate the area of shape which it is forming. Here it is forming what? A triangle. So what is the area for a triangle? Half into base into height. Just apply the formula and you can get the distance covered by that object in that during accelerated motion. Clear? So in today's class we have studied about dt graph and vt graph. We are gonna continue with the vt graph in our next lecture also for the non-uniform acceleration, positive and negative. In the dt graph we studied that there could be uniform motion, which we are representing with the linear graph, non-uniform motion in which the motion could be like you can make a simple staircase sort of, or when the velocity is changing, and that type of motion we are saying is a non-uniform motion. And the third one was when the object was in rest. These were the three types of graph in the dt one. While we are talking about the vt, there are also three type of graph, that is of the zero acceleration, positive acceleration and negative acceleration. Clear? When we are talking about zero acceleration means the object is moving with the constant velocity, it is not changing its velocity. Positive acceleration, the object's velocity is increasing. In the negative acceleration, the object's velocity is decreasing. Clear? So revise the things, and till the next lecture I'm gonna send you revise all these things about the graphical representation of motion, and in our next class we are gonna study about graphical representation of non-uniform accelerated motion. Okay, have a nice day beta, and stay home, stay safe, all the best. Thank you.